2, 3, 4. This is Johnny Burgin with another Chicago Blues guitar lesson going back to 1969. Jimmy Dawkins. I've done a lesson on another song off this record, Fast Fingers. This is the first tune called Serves Me Right to Suffer, and there's so many great versions of it. But the kind of my personal wrecking crew of Lester Dorsey on drums, Joe Harper bass, and Mighty Joe Young on guitar sort of totally remade this whole deal. And the groove on that is so interesting. It's almost like this crazy, like, I wonder if Tom Waits ever listened to that, you know? Anyway, this is a really great song for kind of a beginning improvising. And maybe you don't play the flashiest solos and you're not so confident. Maybe this would be a good way to get going with fills and space and that kind of thing. So it has sort of a riff, and if you know the basic pentatonic, that, and then the same thing up here. So that's kind of the materials, a lot of them that you're working with. It's not crazy chords, it's not crazy notes, but the vocals, there's a riff and then the vocals start. So if you can keep the riff going and keep the chords going and play fills, it'll really teach you a lot about when to jump in with saying something that really makes an impact, because of all Jimmy Dawkins stuff makes this massive impact. And this is the note that leads into the 4, right? He really is playing his changes, right? When he does that, he goes. And then you really want to do the most intense, slow vibrato you can. Not, but kind of. You want to feel like it's a cold hand grabbing you from the darkness. And then he'll do like bend, so he'll do the bend first and then cry it down. Anyway, let's talk about putting the skeleton in place and then fleshing it out with some of these notes, which is kind of the point, you know. And as you get better at that, then it'll get better to make longer solos, longer sentences, longer phrases. So let's check out these chords. Some people call this the Magic Sam chord. This would be on the 4, and instead of a full ninth like that, which you might hear Mighty Joe Young do that, but we'll get to that. Jimmy Dawkins would just play it without the B string. And you could even go the low E string too. And then generally this A chord, A bar chord, without the A string. See the pattern? See how they sound a bit skeletal because you're leaving strings out? Then 2 frets up for your 5. That's pretty much the chords. Let's try it playing a chord for 4 beats and holding it. You know, if you like this, you should definitely check out Hotwire 81 because the rhythm guitar has all that space in there. It'd be like, still good to me, baby, you know. And it just makes all this space. So we're going to try putting the space in there. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2. Now with some reverb, little bit of tremolo, and maybe a bit of overdrive, you know. I know Dawkins had a Baldwin amp, solid state. might hear a little click, right? 2, 3, 4. Whoops, I meant to do this. That was a little off, but it worked. I got right back on the train. You don't have to do that every single time, but on a lot of the ones, try playing your chord. I think he plays it there a lot, which sounds good. That sounds more like something he'd do with a Wild Child Butler. So now let's try the riff, okay? So on the 7th and 5th fret, start an A string, D string. All right. Mostly he ends on the A note. Sometimes the first one out he ends on the D note. To sort of, that's part one, and then he answers it. Notice how I'm doing all downstrokes. I mean, they're punches, you know. He's playing simple notes, but he's punching them hard. He really wants you to feel the impact of them. So, did you ever notice how when you listen to this song, Mighty Joe Young's part gets simpler and simpler? Just like on the way he does that happens a lot. That happens on the way he does Looking Good by Magic Sam. Mighty Joe Young's part gets simpler as it goes on. It starts out, he just plays those same chords, and maybe instead of like slamming it with a pick and playing hard, you could sort of brush it with here. He might do the full 9th chord, or he might do the more skeletal 9th chord. But by the end, he's just playing. Real simple. But he has a great contrasting tone. So, I mean, you rhythm guitar players out there, I'd really look at what he does there, man. It's just really nice. Contrasting tone and attack to that. Try to make it sound kind of sad and lonesome, you know, and put that edge in there, and have fun with the tone. With adding a little bit of overdrive, maybe experiment with a solid state amp. Good bit of reverb and a bit of tremolo, really soft. Yeah, the sound on this record is just devastating. But anyway, any of you guys know some more things about Lester Dorsey, the drummer, Joe Harper, any Dawkins stories, Mighty Joe Young, you know, I'm always up for that on my channel. Leave them in the comments. Join me on Patreon. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.